now beaming into Nerd FT Radio.
This is Nerd FT Radio, where nerds full-time, explorers of the metaverse, surfers of the blockchain, and not in our mom's basement. I'm your host, RSG, aka the Shiny Pokemon Master, and I'm here with Crypto Crier, the Warzone Beast. Crier, how are you?
I'm good, bro. Got a little dubs, my man.
Got a little dubs on Warzone, and I got a shiny Pokemon, but to be honest, that's nothing compared to how special this episode is. Even though every episode is special, this is the 100th episode of Nerd FT Radio.
Oh yeah, man.
Adam,
cruising.
That's it. It's over, right?
Yeah, I can't believe it was a good run. It was a good run.
It was a good run. Wrap it up. 100. There's no numbers past after 100, but
the real problem is there's just been no.
Why are you
news.
taking my jokes?
There's definitely, we probably have to. Like
we're like digging for scraps here.
It's pretty much over, Adam. Like you said, after 100, there's
no number bigger. There's no number bigger than 100. I've never counted past 100 before in my life.
Well, there you go. Then we wrap it up. Or hear me out. Season 2, episode 1.
Ooh, could do season 2.
Wow. Season 2 of the podcast.
The revamp.
The revamp of it. We can bandit your doodle and then bandit my cool cat, and then it's season 2. It's ready to go. Maybe that's a little.
Good thing we didn't pull the trigger on the clones one.
Yeah, that would have been bad. That probably would have been bad. But like Crier just stated, there is literally no news. So we're gonna pull stuff out of our ass on this one because we have to figure out some news. And
to talk about.
Honestly, the only thing that's worthy of talking about, actually, we got a few things, but the number one thing we're going to talk about right now, and of course it has to do with Sam and FTX, obviously, but instead of actual news based upon, hey, is there something new with Sam? Is there something new with FTX? No. And honestly, I wouldn't have put this on my bingo card any day of the week because this blows my mind. So obviously, with FTX, we want to know what exactly happened, what's going to happen, what's going on, and where the heck is Sam and why isn't he in jail? But instead, we're getting the Russo brothers, those guys that made Endgame, Infinity War, Civil War, all these incredible Marvel movies. And Crier, you just told me that they actually made some nice, good shows, some movies.
Yeah, right.
Which ones were those on
Arrested
your side?
Development, Community, and Happy Ending, which are all... Arrested Development is my all-time favorite show,
So good movies, good shows, and Amazon decided to go grab the Russo brothers, purchase an 8-episode miniseries of the FTX scandal and what exactly went down. So instead of trying to find out what exactly is going on, they're just going to make a show to do it all. And now let me ask you,
who's getting paid for this?
Number one, who's getting paid for this? No, yeah, would it be Sam? Like, are we literally just giving him more money? That'd be ridiculous. And number two, my question for both of you, we all know how Sam looks now. Curly hair, white, little stubby. What actor would you want to go ahead and represent Sam in a movie?
Is that Eisenberg guy?
Who's the Eisenberg guy?
Guy from Facebook. Curly hair.
He did Mark Zuckerberg and Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah.
He did do that. I'm pretty sure there was another person that was a really good
Jonah Hill.
I was going to say like Superbad Jonah Hill would be hilarious.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Superbad Jonah Hill, and we could be rolling with something. And then, the girl from, Arya from Game of Thrones?
Yeah, I could see that. That's a good one.
She could be the girl that, what's her name?
Caroline.
Who was she, by the way, Crier? Can you give me a little bit more into who exactly she was for FTX?
She was the CEO of Alameda Research, which is like the trading arm of FTX, who was not a trader. She's on video saying that she doesn't use stop losses, and that's why our money's gone.
And that's pretty much where it's all gone. But again, hey, listen, the Russo brothers are obviously massive. A lot of people in Hollywood, actors, actresses, love being in movies and shows with them. We've seen Tom Holland in a few. We've seen Chris Hemsworth in a few. By the way, did you see what happened to Chris Hemsworth really quick?
No, I did not. What happened?
So he's doing a mini series on Disney Plus called Limitless, if I'm not mistaken. And it's pretty much like how the body
the movie?
humans. No, not like the kind
it's
of.
like
but
through National Geographic.
It's National Geographic, and it's pretty much enduring
like a documentary.
Yeah, it's like a documentary of enduring like the worst possible things like a human body could go for, as well as like pushing the limits on a human body. And if I'm not mistaken, like episode 5 or 6, I think it was last week, he went ahead and they released an episode. And in the episode, he found out that he's probably going to have, what was it Alzheimer's? He's going to probably get Alzheimer's.
He's got like two DNA strands, or was it? Yeah, that like increases your chances of Alzheimer's.
And because of that, because of that, he actually is going to stop doing some movies in Hollywood for some time to like pretty much like absorb what exactly he just found out. And actually, the funny thing is, he came out, I forgot what news outlet it was that he did the interview and whatnot for, but he pretty much was told by Disney, listen, we have an episode where you find out and we can tell everyone like what exactly just happened because you found out live on camera, the whole 9. Or here's another episode and we can cover it all up and you're good to go. And he straight up said, like, listen, I want everyone to freaking see this because I need people to do, if they can, the same thing I just did. This, it was like a insane test that literally just like deciphers your body like from like the tip of your finger all the way down. Yeah, it's like crazy. It was a crazy test that he took that found out like literally everything. So unfortunately, that's what happened. And Adam, if I'm not mistaken, on the side of Marvel and what he said, if he does return as Thor, he wants like a full on like 180 on what exactly Thor is going to be. Less funny, more serious, a completely different Thor that we've received. Lame. We kind of got like a serious Thor. And like Thor 1, then it started getting a little bit funnier towards the second, and of course 3 and 4. But it looks like because of this news, he wants to go that route. I personally think it's everyone just freaking out a little bit because obviously, if you remember what happens in Thor, he literally lost everyone, like brother, mom, dad, girlfriend, best friend. He's endured the most loss out of any hero. Literally in Marvel, and he's still like who Thor is. So maybe in this one, they can go a little bit more. Except Spider-Man, like Cryer just said. Except Spider-Man. Who's Spider-Man lost compared to Thor?
The entire population of the Earth. The entire population of the Earth.
I mean,
nobody knows who he
is.
Just
forgot about him. Yeah, it's fine, but
it's essentially a loss. It's essentially a loss. He could have walked back into the coffee or donut shop or whatever. Bro. And talk to MJ.
This is way too deep. But yes, Spider-Man's up there. Scarlet Witch is up there, but we saw what happened with her. She turned a little bad. And all these characters. So again, it would be a nice thing to see.
If you got the option, would you take this test to find out if you're worried about something you're going to happen in the future?
110%. I
feel like that's a terrible test to take.
Give it to me. I want to know so I can prepare because I need to know what exactly I have to do. It's going to turn out that Adam, I'm not allergic to cheese, and I'd be like, yes, I'm back, and we're good to go. But again, back
to a mental thing.
Probably mental thing. Back to the FTX thing again. Obviously, we're seeing the side of now let's monetize on billions of dollars being lost, and maybe the next thing that's going to pop up is some FTX merch. Kind of like what happened with the Lehman Brothers. Remember, everyone would wear the Lehman Brothers like hats and like risk management and whatnot.
Yeah, got to make it all back to pay all these people back, man.
You got to make it back.
My question. So I'm assuming, obviously, he's not going to be involved in this at all, right? They're going to make this without him.
I mean,
he's probably going to star in it. I would assume he's free to do whatever he wants. So apparently,
and then
Sam.
Yeah, what's he just saying? He's just hanging out in the Bahamas.
And then I'm gonna also assume it's gonna be a comedy series, right? So would they have to be worried about defamation? Defamation lawsuit?
Probably not.
If nobody knows the actual story when this comes out, and they just make a show based off of guessing, and they paint him out,
I'm sure they're gonna know when it's coming out.
If they paint him to look like a bad guy, do they have to be worried about? Do they have to be worried about defamation lawsuit?
I'm not a lawyer. That's the wrong person, man.
Episode 6, the sex tape. And then, there it is. Bam! We get to see it right there. Maybe that's what we're waiting for. And then the merchandise starts popping up and all this crazy stuff. But, you know what's even more important that I forgot to mention? And we're already talking about merchandise. You know that NRN merchandise is live?
Oh, shit. No way.
This is crazy. And we've actually partnered with NFTs with 2 E's, by the way. NFTEES. And NFTs is the first truly Web3 enabled wear your NFT garment company. The first. They've launched. Is it the first? They've actually launched the classic T-shirt, 100% sustainable source cotton, fair wear, vegan friendly. What the hell does that mean? In the coming weeks, NFTs will be bringing in hoodies, sweatshirts, and other garments. Right now, though, you're able to choose an NFT from your wallet. And the really cool thing about it is that you're actually able to use a cold wallet referral link, which then could allow you to get in without getting, a little funky with the wallet and giving your information.
Stuff on your hot wallet.
Exactly. So as well as this is the most important part, an NRN design from their sticker selection in their editor. So you could be rocking some NRN gear very soon. Unfortunately, probably not for Art Basel, since it is like in 3 days. Actually, it's going on right now. But yeah, if you could probably do that, or just like come find me and I can just give you an NRN shirt if you're an Art Basel. But the process is very simple. You're able to connect your wallet, choose the physical NFT, select an NFT you want to use, add the NRN stickers you can actually add the sticker and the NFTs, go to checkout, and you're able to pay in crypto and or fiat.
Bam.
Plus, don't remember there's a plus. During Art Basel, NFTs, remember with 2 E's, will open up the partner merch section on their website where you'll be able to also buy NRN merch with or without connecting your wallet, but you won't be able to flex your NFT with it. So actually, if you want your NFTs, you do have to connect the wallet, but if you want to rock NRN, you don't have to connect the wallet. And this is the last stand I got here. Don't forget to use NRN10 for your 10% off your order. We're saving you money like crypto isn't. So any questions or concerns, connect with @on Twitter, NFTEES_com, or email them at info@nfts.com. And Orlando, the founder, will be more than happy to help you get some t-shirts.
Hell yeah, man.
That was that was phenomenal. Adam, out of 1 to 10, how was that ad read?
6.
Give it a
4. That was phenomenal. But all right, let's get into more serious things. And if you do actually want some NRN merch, let us know. Because, by the way, I think, Crier, you're wearing the hoodie right now. Super soft, super clean. Nice. Very good material, the whole 9. So awesome things going on over there. And shout out to the people at NFTs for being our sponsor. Orlando, you're the man. All right, let's get into the next topic. And it's obvious this is going to be a fun one because we know how serious Crier is about security on the in the blockchain, on the blockchain.
Mr. No Ledger guy over here.
Ledger guy over here. All right, let's talk about it. Metamask. Crier, you're gone from Metamask.
I'm out.
Done. Over. Kaputs. We've been telling people to get a MetaMask for 99 episodes, and right now on episode 100, we're telling them, you know what? We're leaving MetaMask. Why are we leaving MetaMask, Crier?
MetaMask is run by Consensus, and they have now decided to be tracking all IP addresses that pass through their Infura RPC, which means anytime that you connect your wallets, even like a bundle of wallets, like all the wallets that are listed in your thing for the first time, just signing them the first time pulls all of your data from all your wallets to the current IP address you're using. So it's a big negative for decentralization. I think that it's one of the reasons we see a lot of these, the more decentralized we are, the better it is realistically. We have better actors acting in a space where you're not being shoehorned into tracking and government spending and all this stuff that's allowing people to not like circumvent. You don't have to circumvent laws, but you're not getting privacy with these features. And you want to have, it's your money, you want to have privacy. So the real thing here is MetaMask is now allowing, it's pretty much just saying, yes, we're going to track all your stuff. If you're making purchases that you're not, down the road, this is going to come back with a lot of these chain analysis systems, and you're going to get flagged for, 7 years back taxes when they hit you with all these transactions you've been doing.
Well, haven't they been doing this for some time now? Because if I do recall, a few months back, maybe even a year back, to be honest, in NFT time, so in 8 years ago, they actually went ahead and like geo access some people. Like if you were in specific countries, you weren't able to use MetaMask and use it. Geofencing, that's the word. That's why you're here, Crier. Isn't that pretty much like already grabbing the IPs? Like, isn't this something that they've been doing for a while? Like, I don't understand. Like,
I think it's really like the geofencing is kind of like more like the opposite of what is happening right now. So geofencing is just saying IPs coming from this region aren't going to be able to access our front end, our website, or use our services.
Okay, that makes sense. Okay. That
whereas this one is saying, doesn't matter where you are, restricted or not, we're going to keep a log of all of your IP addresses, connecting these wallets. So anytime that you switch locations, they'll know addresses. It's something that's not necessary, and it's something that is going to be abused in the future. So if you can avoid it, you should, because it's just less privacy. And again, privacy is what you choose to be, right? You have all your information online. Everyone has all information online, but your financial data is usually kept private to you, right? Like you only know how much you're on your bank account. You only know how much, the more they connect to stuff with blockchain, the higher risk it becomes. So generally with financial data, everything's is visible on the blockchain. The more connections that you have with either your IP, your public address, your, connecting to your Twitter, connecting to your Discord, these are all those things that narrows down and makes it easier for, it doesn't have to be governments, it can be anyone. Maybe this data leaks. How many database leak hacks we've had in the past? I'm sure MetaMask is open to a lot of, or a honeypot of data. Now that they know people are connecting IPs, it's just another thing that is possibly can come under attack. So my thought process is avoid it at all costs. And I started using a couple of other wallets to kind of make up for it. So I tried one called XDeFi wallets, which is really cool. They have a lot of very easy, all these UIs that I'm using right now too are much easier than MetaMask. MetaMask is actually one of the most dated out of all these. So
hold up. When I saw what you sent me the other day, you doing like the little tutorial and whatnot, there were so many numbers and so many words, like I did not understand anything. So is it easier or?
Oh yeah, no, it's super simple. Why is it simple? It's just like very streamlined.
Do you think that? Let me ask you something. Like when I saw what you sent me, I looked at it like there's a lot of things going on. And when I'm thinking like myself that, I'm like, well, now imagine like a regular Joe Schmo trying to do it and looking at a MetaMask or then looking at this, what you're using now. I still like, it's kind of like the whole Android iPhone thing. Yeah, iPhone can be the least superior, but like it just looks a lot cleaner, less stuff. That's it. And then when you look at some things on Android, it's like, what the heck's going on over here? So when you talk about easier, what do you mean?
So like just the use of it is very simplistic. So like say you have one thing about MetaMask is every time you want to add a token or something like that, you have to add the contract address unless it's like a really highly used one. So none of your NFTs get displayed. Number one. This wallet shows you all of your NFTs in your wallet. That's like nice. Switches between wallets. Super, super simple. Like when you have to click up in the top of the right-handed side of a MetaMask to do your list, it's hard to see what's actually in your wallets, right? Like you can see how much ETH you have, but oh shit, which NFTs are where, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. Some people have that problem. I definitely have that problem. I have a bunch of different wallets. It's super, super easy on that side. It shows you the current gas. It shows you the current price of Ethereum. It shows you all of the NFTs, all USD values of all the items. It shows you when you submit a transaction, how long it's going to be till it processes, all that stuff, which is all on one screen instead of multiple screens, like with MetaMask. Like you have to go to the transactions. It's very clunky. So I personally think both XDeFi wallet and Frame both were super nice and easy to use and very easy to switch from the RPCs, because MetaMask has Infura, which is their RPC, as the main one, and you can't switch every time you switch back. It switches to, like, say you go to Harmony or you go to Avalanche. When you switch back to Ethereum, it's going to default to the Infura one every time. So you have to change.
Yeah, I'm actually reading that over here. So I'm looking at a little thread. I just sent it over to you, and it's on from an individual called Joseph Lubin, and he's talking about the privacy policies and everything. And a lot of what he's pretty much stating it's a misunderstanding. So let's talk a little bit about it, and then tell me if not a rebuttal or if it's like, oh, I didn't know that, or you know what, Mateo, I'm just not going to use MetaMask. All right. So,
sure.
All right. So what's going on here is that what he stated is MetaMask does not collect IP address. MetaMask routes information necessary for your transaction to be processed by an RPC provider. That's where you just talked about was in Infura, correct?
Infura. Yep.
Infura, excuse me. Infura is the default RPC provider in MetaMask, which we also developed. This, when he says also, he's from Consensus.
Yeah.
And what's going on
Who
here
created MetaMask
is okay. Well, there you go. You learn something new every day. So based upon like this thread that I sent you over and like what exactly he's talking about, and pretty much what he's stating is it's not a Web3 problem or a MetaMask problem. It's an internet problem. And that's how just like web browsing and whatnot functions. And that's what they need to do. And they're coming out and stating, again, we're not collecting this. We just need to do specific things for it. Now, when you look at these two other wallets that you're using, where's that difference? Like, do they not do this? And why wouldn't, if they don't, why wouldn't MetaMask just like do that as well?
Switch that too. So what I was... that he is from their website, so he's saying he's not collecting stuff, but their actual user agreement, I saw a couple of posts specifically stating, and people were tracking it from like pings on their browser. So they're opening up a console, you're putting an action in on MetaMask, and they're seeing that it's pushing a packet out that collects your IP and stuff like that. So I'm not sure exactly what he means by that they're not collecting or stuff like that, but it was in the user agreements that people were talking about. And that's why I decided to just try. You don't have to use MetaMask. You can still, you can just not use Infura. You can switch it to a different one on MetaMask. But the one I was using specifically, the one called Frame, is specifically privacy focused. It's its own stand-in, like, launched app, just how Ledger has a standalone app on your computer with a built-in plugin. So it's a little bit safer also in terms of like, it's not going to get issues with Chrome extensions, like people get hacking Chrome extensions and shit like that. It doesn't happen a ton, but it's definitely just another vector of attack. Whereas this now a standalone app completely in its own, on its application on Windows or OS. Plus, like, I switched just because I wanted more privacy. The UI on this is way better. Like, it's not even comparison. Like, the UI for MetaMask hasn't updated ever since I've used it.
Time. Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
I've been using it for like 5 or 6 years, and wallets have to have super easy UI if they want to get accepted. MetaMask has not done anything of benefit to their UI in like 6-7 years. So when I see something like this, I think it's a really huge opportunity in this space to maybe try something new, see if you like it, and it might be more easier for people to recommend and start up, because I'm telling you, it's every time I've used it or so far, even like adding RPCs, you know how you have to add an RPC if you go to a chain and stuff like that? It literally is like, do you want to add this RPC? And it has all the stuff already written out. You don't have to type all the shit in or anything. It's just like, do you want to add this? Bam. It's like a little click and drag.
Okay. No, I definitely like that.
Super nice. So
that's definitely what we talk about all the time, Crier. It's the UI UX, and that's how adoption is going to happen when we look at these systems that we use. If it's our phones, if it's the consoles, TVs, cars, you name it. It's just the simplicity factor that anyone can use it. A 4-year-old, 5-year-old, 6-year-old, all the way up to a 100. Shout out to the 100th episode year old. I definitely like that idea. And that's actually something I want to talk about right after we finish this topic. And it's actually Web3 Twitters and like different websites that you're able to monetize and own your posts and all this stuff. We'll get into it in just a second, because this is a good segue into it. But it would definitely be more like, it would be interesting to see more individuals like myself, Adam, you as well, going into these wallets and seeing like the comparison to MetaMask. Because let me ask you, Adam, because you're more on the sense, like, you got into the space after me and all this stuff. On the MetaMask side, do you find MetaMask like hard to use, something complicated, anything on that sort? Or it's now that you've used it so much, you're like, this is simple, I'm ready to go?
I'm sure I probably don't use MetaMask to its full extent, so I'm sure there's probably complicated stuff to do within there. I mean, I just really only use it, just for purchasing, so I use the web browser in there. I think the way to go and clear your information from websites on there could probably be made easier. Like on the desktop version, you can just click on the Chrome extension and then the little ellipses in the 100%. Top. Whereas on the app, it's something completely different. You got to go to settings, and you got to go to security. Then you got to scroll down, and it gives you like 3 options of things to clear, but the right one's to clear privacy data. So then you got to go and clear that, and then it'll clear everything from the browser. But I mean, I haven't had any issues with it. I mean, it was pretty simple from the get-go when I started with it. I didn't feel like I had to learn too much.
Okay, and that's definitely something very important. Again, back to it, we just need anyone to be able to use these things, and that's where that adoption comes into play. Now, again, I definitely think this is an opportunity for us to just go in and see, like, hey, is this it? This is something better. This is something new, etc. The only issue I do see, Crier, is that obviously there's some individuals that don't use MetaMask in the last year or so, and a lot of these NFT projects and companies, when you go and try to connect a wallet, there's an issue factor where it only is for MetaMask or it's only for Coinbase. Now, this, is there an issue with that?
Yep. No, so they actually inject through MetaMask. So you click MetaMask as a connection.
That's awesome.
And it pulls all of your MetaMask connections. It's like
I'm throwing daggers and you're blocking them. So I like that. We're just blocking left and right. We're ready to go. But let me ask you.
And again, like I said, I've been using this for a long time. I've tried a bunch of different wallets. I tried Trust Wallet. Have you tried
a Rainbow Wallet?
Ledger Wallet. Which one?
Rainbow.
Yeah, Rainbow Wallet. Zapper. I've done all of them. Like I've just keep trying them whenever I see a new one or, just shit like this happens. Yeah. So this is definitely one of my favorites so far. It has just a lot of very condensed, not like user UI. And it literally has like you press Alt and / and it pops up anywhere on the entire desktop. Super simple and plugs in with applications and web browser stuff. So in the future, if like, say your game has to connect to your wallet or something like that, it's all hosted in an application on your computer. So you just connect through Frame.
That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah. So I definitely think it's very forward looking too. I think there's going to be a lot of updates and stuff coming through.
Let me ask you, Crier, for the people listening, what exactly say the app? Is it an app on the App Store, by the way, or is it just web based?
It's just there is a web based one. This is an application you download to like Mac OS or your computer. They have a desktop version only right now. They're doing a iOS and phone one coming up as well.
See all that work and you lost me because they don't have they don't have a mobile. I know obviously it's coming soon and I hope that does come in. And when I think about like
I believe the
coming into the space,
wallet did have a mobile one, but
you need a mobile. Like that's it. Yeah. I'm gonna be honest because you remember my first few days in the NFT space and when we met and whatnot, I didn't have this laptop that I have here. I only had my phone. And Adam, like you usually use MetaMask more on your phone, if I'm not mistaken, than your computer. Or you're more of a computer guy, if I'm not.
I mean, I'm not as home as much as you guys probably are, so I don't have access to my computer a lot. Okay. So I do use mobile. I think most of my transactions have been mobile.
Okay. Yeah. So that's where I think of it also. Like obviously I've been, by the way, the last we haven't talked about this. Like the last 2 weeks, your boy RSG, I've actually been making like insane NFT moves. I've been flipping left and right. It feels like the bull market. I've been doing extremely well. We'll talk about that.
Thanks for sharing the info.
Different episode. I got super lucky. It wasn't just like me being able, hey, everyone mint this. No, I got super lucky.
He told us to mint the cool cat shit. That was crushed.
I did tell you guys to do that. But what I wanted to go ahead and say here was
the Frame one did not have a mobile app, but the XDeFi wallet did have a mobile app.
So. Yes, and that's it. See, this is why we're co-hosts here. You just brought the little memory, the little tiny one back into me. Yeah. When we talk about like
they're both pretty similar. They're good.
We need the application on a mobile device, and once we have that, we're good to go. But let's go ahead and talk really quick about this last topic that we had on the agenda here, and it's the Web3 Twitters. So obviously the past few days, weeks, maybe even month now, the whole thing of Elon taking over and people like, oh, I don't like Elon. He's destroying Twitter. And now he just came out with all the stats and whatnot. And like Twitter's been booming more than ever. And everyone's on it. New things are coming. The verification, all payments. Like he actually did a little snippet of his like pitch deck pretty much of what's to come, what's going on. And everything looks awesome at the moment. This is very biased because I am an Elon fanboy. I will state that right now. But even though that's the case, I made a little jump. I went over into some other like Twitter Web3 social medias, and one of them that I actually went into was Diamond app. Very similar to Twitter. There's a news feed, or there's your feed. There's like new, which would obviously it's a lot smaller social media. So when you go to new, you can just see everyone's post because there's not that many as compared to Twitter. There's also hot, which is the ones that are popping off the most and whatnot. The difference here is that it's through a crypto wallet, number one. And number two, you're actually able to do two crazy things. Number one, Crier, if you have an account, I can actually purchase like Crier's Diamond app like coin, and if you start getting more likes and more followers and whatnot, the price of yours would go up more based upon that.
Social
number
token.
One, a social token, pretty much like a Black Mirror, and if that does come to reality, we're all screwed. Number one. And number two, also the really cool thing is, if let's say I have a good I can't say tweet. Do I say a good diamond? A good post, and people can actually click the little diamond button on the bottom right of the post, and you can actually gift the person the diamond token, and they start getting a few cents, $1, $2 because of that post. So super cool concept, something different. Again, I've always been that heavy, hard-headed individual. Like if I like something, I stick with it, and that's it. I've decided to just adventure off into other stuff and just learn new stuff. And exactly, this is literally what we're talking about on the crypto wallet side of things, where it's something to look into. Because listen, if you're telling me the UI UX is a lot better than Metamask, when I already think like my go-to is you got to get a Metamask. My go-to in the stock market is you have to get a Robinhood. My go-to on the crypto side is you have to get a Coinbase. Even though we talk about this literally all the time, we don't like Robinhood, we don't like Coinbase. I guess we don't like MetaMask now. We still tell people to use these things because of how simple it is compared to everything else. So when you're telling me there's another application, another wallet, another Twitter, Web3 social media that's easier, faster, innovative, whatever the case may be, I really do think that it's an opportunity to adventure into, to figure out like, hey, maybe this is the place to do it. And for all you content creators as well, like us, it's a great opportunity to be bigger in a smaller community. Because if really, honestly, I can just by the way, all of our clips, all of our podcasts, all of anything that we ever do on Twitter, if you go follow me on Diamond, you're going to see it all over again over there. I'm just copying, pasting it and chucking it over there and trying to build that following and whatnot.
Following on a new platform.
Exactly. But what was the other one that you were using? Oh, go ahead. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, but the similar thing where just you see the value of these content creation, kind of like switch almost, right? So we've had Twitch kind of blow up in success. Now YouTube got a lot of the affiliate and YouTube creators are getting, directly paid. Now we're seeing Twitter, and Elon Musk is talking about video content and written content getting paid through Twitter, through their monetizations, like programs. So what we're seeing here is that's obviously the route that we're going here, right? Less of the big classic monolithic, media sources to now getting personal content that people find their niche category, and they are now like the news reporter for that category, right? Exactly. So when we see stuff like the Diamond, and it's on DSO or whatever, decentralized social networking, which is like the layer one.
Yep.
The whole point of that is to have a bunch of different social networks so that you can try and bring your like if you don't like that one, leave it. They don't have they don't have your information anymore. Bye. And that's a great feature. I like that really a lot. So another one that I was recently looking into is called Farcaster, which is another Web3 based one, but this one is completely on the blockchain, which is kind of interesting. So DSO is its own blockchain. It is all on its own blockchain, but this one is actually using like Ethereum based nodes to route all of their information for a Farcaster. So we've seen like a bunch of pretty big names going on there. Vitalik started an account up. It's all using .eth as your, so there's a huge Ethereum based network. And I saw a lot of people posting about it, and I was like, oh, let's just check it out. And I really like it because it's a very, like, just picture all of Twitter being like NFT based or crypto based or something like that. Like, it's very focused on Ethereum users. So there's a lot of people that
that's
can
literally the only
network
users, right?
more. Yeah. So that's like the only people using it right now. And again, that's the same idea where people can make their own apps for it. Like, there's not even a application, right? That's just there's a Windows, Mac OS application for it, and then there's a bunch of people who've made their own applications to do whatever they want with it. So you can have like a statistics application, you can have, you know, a help thread poster application that people just made, and it's all open source. So a lot of cool stuff coming out of these types of things, and I do think that, you know, once you build a super solid network like something like Ethereum, you know, why would you not build a competent social network on top of it, right? You're already building a monetary system. You want to build a social aspect too, because something like WeChat, where it's all just one app, you know, you have one app that does like practically everything you needed to do, is something like what Ethereum will be like in the future, I think. So,
and hopefully Twitter. That's what Elon wants, at least. He's like, you know what? Like, why is it that we don't have something like WeChat? So that's what he's trying to. He's like, you know what? I'm going to just copy it and make it over here for the rest of the world, except in China, because that's all they use. But yeah, no, I definitely agree. And again, the big thing, the takeaway from the last two topics that we just had on this episode is just trying something new, looking into the innovative side of what's going on right now. Again, we are in this bear/cub market where things aren't as hot how it was last year, and instead of being discouraged and turned away by what's going on, a great opportunity to look into more stuff, getting a further reach in your content, in your following, in your knowledge, in everything that you're doing. And this is just that opportunity to dive in there and find other things. Again, I am a very hard-headed individual where if I like something, that's what I like, and that's it. You can ask Adam, you can ask Cryer. We've known each other for a year and a little bit, some change. You probably know that as well. Adam, I've known you for literally almost my whole entire life. You know that as well. So the opportunity here of just learning new things and being a part of these new developments and whatnot is truly remarkable, and a great opportunity that's going to just bring us to a better future and new stuffs. And again, we want competition. We want new things. We want innovative things, because that also makes Twitter, makes Metamask, makes Apple, makes Android, makes YouTube to try something new, just exactly like what you just said, Cryer. But yeah, no, again, we started from a random mini-series, Amazon, of FTX with the Russo brothers from Marvel, to actually giving some great knowledge and information about what are we talking about? There was some news. We got something out of the last few days. By the way, better than the last episode. By the way, we were just in Thanksgiving break. We didn't have that episode, but just to ask you guys, how was your guys' Thanksgiving? Everything good?
Oh yeah, we just hung out with the fam. It was fun. Went and visit one of my chiropractor friends up 2 days before. So just hang out in the woods in the cabin.
And okay.
What about you?
Adam, let's go to Adam first. Yeah. Nope, slept all day. There you go. And then what I did, I had the girl, I had the girlfriend's parents or dad's side of the family up here in Orlando, and we were they're from Argentina, by the way, so they were geared out in Argentina gear because the game on what was it, Saturday versus Mexico. So again, we pretty much all we did was we went to like Disney Springs and we hung out, and we also went to some restaurants, but the main thing that we did was watching the FIFA World Cup during the day. Again, it's super awesome. Games are remarkable, by the way. There's a bunch of upsets and a lot of great goals and a lot of great plays. So I'm having a blast just getting back into soccer. And when I say getting back into soccer, I only get into soccer every 4 years when it's the World Cup. After that, I don't get back into soccer. I go back to, football. I go back to football, and I go back to baseball and basketball. But yeah, no, that pretty much wraps it up on our side. Any closing thoughts that either of you have? By the way, if they were going to make an NRN miniseries, who would be my actor?
Ooh.
Can we take this serious? By the way, don't say something stupid, please.
I'm trying to think.
No, I'm not the best with the
Yeah, I'm trying to
remembering
fan
actors.
cast. All right.
so, like,
Well,
you
the
just-
only right
you
answer
just put me
here,
on-
the only right answer here was Tom Holland. So I just have to go ahead and say that. And number
Tom
two,
Holland.
who would be Yaba?
Yaba. Get Denzel on here.
Denzel. I was thinking more like Chris Rock.
I can see that.
Chris Rock. What's the guy from? Oh my God! Why can't I think of this movie? I'm so pissed right now. I have someone that'd be so funny. What's the movie? Rush Hour. Chris Tucker.
Chris Tucker.
That'd be
I can see that.
hysterical. That'd be so funny. That'd be so funny. Adam,
And
what
they're the
about
same
you?
age.
Who would you want to be your actor? And we'll close it out. Right here.
I don't know.
Bad, awful.
Yeah, you put me on the spot, and like I
Yeah,
really there's
that's the
something
whole
like
point.
I really
Warn
have to
us,
think
Pete.
about.
This is organic content coming straight at
It
you from
is.
NRN and Nerd FT.
we don't
Radio.
know.
I don't know. I mean,
Catching people off guard.
I'm not funny enough in real life to get like Chris Pratt, but I
Who's my
that'd be
actor?
funny.
Who's Who's yours? I'm just
Chris
gonna.
Pratt over here.
I don't know. Who do you think? See, I'm off this one.
See, yeah, what is this?
You're the one that brought
Well,
this up.
I knew exactly who I wanted to be me. I want Tom Holland. That's pretty much it. I think Tom Holland would be great for me. I think. By the way,
get
my
Bit Boy to do me.
You saw he showed up in the Bahamas.
Yeah,
he did show up, but he's just. He
I
literally.
saw a video of him
Oh God.
shilling FTT compared side by side with him trying to track down him at his apartment complex.
Ridiculous, bro. He
It's only
literally
3 year
calls
difference.
himself. Yeah, he literally called himself the other day the Alex Jones of Web3 or blockchain, which
Why would you compare yourself
Just-
to Alex?
that is what we're trying to get at right now. Exactly. But let's just close it off there, because if we go into Alex Jones, this podcast is going to go off the rails. So again, thank you everyone for tuning into another episode of Nerd FT Radio. Are we going to be back with episode 101? Or are we going to be back with
In person?
Season 2, episode 1.
Wait, what's
Is the next
101?
ep-
In
is the
Art
next-
Basel.
Is the
What's
next episode
101?
going to be live?
Live at Art Basel, bro.
What's 101?
Live at Art Basel. Yeah, well, there's 100.
Season 2, episode 1, Art Basel.
This man, he's saying that there's no number besides 101. Is there going to
No,
be a 101?
there's
Is there going to be a
nothing bigger
season
than
1,
100.
episode 1? That's I get
Season
what
2,
you're saying. It's a
episode 1?
great joke. It's a great joke. What
Is
I
it a
was
great
about to
joke?
say is the next time on Dragon Ball Z, we'll find out. Cut it. Goodbye. Peace.
Get out of here.